Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Monday morning trading room. You have to bear with me a little bit here. My charts are a little bit slow loading this morning. Had a little technical difficulty earlier, had to reboot everything. So bear with me here just a moment as I get everything set up. It looks like the market with a bearish start to the day. If you take a look here at the overnight and where the market left off on Friday, that is a substantial gap to the upside. So we'll see whether the market tries to get into that gap today or whether it's going to continue going sideways, as seems to have been the theme of late. We see a big move and then a lot of sideways trading. Okay, so after a slight attempt to move the market lower out of the open, it looks like we're starting to recover already. Getting a little bit more bullishness coming in here on the hawk. We have the first micro macro cross now higher. A trend change signal piggybacking on a late filter entry signal here on the Falcon. The Eagle is still bearish. The Raptor, we have our counter trend signal. In fact, we have that little 232 pattern. That usually precedes a reverse. It's still very early though. We're not even 5 minutes into the day yet. Although it looks like we're getting a fairly decent move there. All right, a little bit of back and forth. You know, whenever you see those big moves, those big overnight moves, you're always wondering, is the market going to resume that trend, or is it going to try to buck the overnight trend, get into that gap? When in doubt, I usually try to stay with the trend versus trying to go counter trend. If I can't decide one way or the other, I'll always try to stay with the trend if I can. And at the moment, it looks as though after a brief rally attempt, the sellers are taking the buyers out to the woodshed, getting a little thumping. Not even 10 minutes into the day, and we've already seen a couple very dramatic swings. Okay, I'm a little bit late on this one, but I was going to just point out this late filter entry signal that was building on the Hawk, or pardon me, the Falcon. And it looks like that's fallen off, hit its profit target, and then some. So back-to-back late filter entry signals, opposite directions no less. Wow, that is a substantial start to the day right there. I fear that may have been the move of the day. Now we're getting a little bit of a pushback. The trading band here now on the Raptor, very broad. Right, we're down 71.30, started 71.45. That's a 15-point or 60 tick cloud. That's pretty broad. we may see a reversal signal print here. Of course, the trend is still down, so I don't want to get too crazy on the short side. And we're getting a couple continuation signals now. The 4-arrow consolidation / macro pullback here in the Hawk. Another possible late filter entry signal here in the Falcon. These you got to be careful. You know, the first ones tend to be very reliable. The second one's probably okay too, but you don't want to be treating each of these signals as standalones. You know, you do need to take the market context into account. Oh, and look at that. That one's actually going to be out of reach, trying to cover above just that last swing high. So my options are I can wait for a second push, see if the market reacts here. That would allow me to possibly frame my trade a little bit tighter. Or I have to increase my risk exposure, or I just flat out forget about the trade. Okay, so I have the second push opportunity now. I've seen where the market is reacting. I can enter with a little bit more confidence. And the trend line spoiled here for one bar. I mean, we're gonna try to stretch this one out a little bit. There's a lot of momentum here this morning. And if the market makes another turn lower, I will look to adjust my stops a little bit quickly here. Because we're starting to go a little bit flat. You see, we're starting to go a little bit sideways. That's not what I want to see. And it's not that I'll necessarily be on the wrong side of this trade, but given the stop requirements for a successful trade, that I can't afford. The proper stop is probably, well, the proper stop is up here. There's no way I can afford that. That would be 2 swings back. This would be swing 1, that would be swing 2. That's the way I would see it. Even this swing I couldn't afford, so I ended up somewhere in the middle here. And we broke the lows here, and all of a sudden the buyer's piling on. Come on, give me just another bar. And I will be a little bit more aggressive bringing my stop down if I can get another bar or 2 in my favor. All right. So last chance for the sellers. If they can't pull it off now, well, then I may as well take my break even. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Oh, what a struggle. What a struggle around 71.20. Just crazy. The best stop for this trade still here around 71.35. I just don't feel like giving them too much room on it. Okay, well, that could have been a whole lot worse. I'll take the break even. That could have been a lot worse than how it turned out. Oh, and look at that. They just came up high enough to tag me, and now they're going to try to head lower again? Scoundrels. Yeah, I was a little quick with my stop. Well, that was unfortunate. right, so they did manage to get a little bit lower. A little bit of a rebound now, so still trying to get a handle on what's going on here this morning. The fact that we've made a very strong move lower and kind of struggling. You can see how each attempt to move the market lower is getting a little bit shorter. Somewhere through here, we're going to see the market actually make a higher low, and that's going to be the first clue that perhaps the market is getting ready for a reversal. Could take a few minutes still. The downtrend is very strong, but that's something to keep in the back of your mind. That may be how the market is going to build here over the next few minutes. All right, so things starting to get a little bit stronger for the buyers. We're back into the hard edge here now on both the Eagle and the Raptor trading bands. And we're getting we have had a first micro-macro cross, a macro pullback, and a 4-arrow consolidation here on the Hawk, all building within the same range. A quick little trend change signal on the Falcon that's also being successful. We're kind of near the top end now where the market reacted before, again around the 71.35 zone. So we'll see here. Like I said, the Hawk, Falcon already full on bullish. The Raptor and the Eagle still slightly bearish. Whenever we encounter the hard edge, we should anticipate some sort of reaction. All right, this could now be the retest of the low. And we may come back here with an early number one signal, so the cloud's not fully crossed yet. All right, let's see if we get a buy signal. I could be persuaded. There it is. There's an early number one. I'm just going to hit my buy button, and I may have to adjust my stops a little bit here. I should have restricted this to a single contract, but at any rate, I'm fairly confident we're going to see some follow through from here. Oh, come on. They're stalling just before the first profit target. Oops. Oh, come on now. This is the area obviously we have to breach right here. If the market continues higher from here, we will produce a proper number one signal. The challenge is riding out anything that would resemble a retest of the lows. That's the tricky part here. This is now do or die for the sellers. Oh dear. It looks like it's do or die for me as they really pushing the market lower here. Yeah, see, it's those darn counter trend signals. They get you every single time. Well, in for a penny, in for a pound. I may as well hold the market below the lows. Even though I'm not holding out a whole lot of hope. Right now. If the market falls below the 71.14 area It's very likely to continue lower. We essentially have the market bracketed right now. This is kind of our range that we're looking at. And if we break these highs, we do have a little bit of room to move. The highs of the morning, way up here, just shy of 71.70. Aye, look at that, just can't get a break. No, they're going to stop me out here in a second. Doggone it. Counter trend trades. Just can't leave them alone. It's a weakness. So here we go with yet another number one signal. The market is going to push through here. I can almost guarantee it. Yeah, there you go. So that's the problem with counter trend trading. I find the biggest hassle getting stuck on the wrong, well, getting shut out from doing a with trend trade. Well, that was unfortunate. I dug myself a little bit of a hole here. Gonna have to see what I can do about getting out of that one. Oh, look at that. We're just kind of drifting sideways now. These quick little moves that you get as well make it a little bit more difficult. Okay, we're back into the hard edge, kind of at the top end of this little bit of a trading range we have going on. I was just looking here where the band was so broad. That made for a nice steady pullback. The band not nearly as broad now. And yet, it seems as though the sellers, I don't know if they're losing their grip on the market or not. All right, well, there's again, I'm not going to call that an early number one because the clouds are barely crossing. Okay, it did print as a number two signal, which of course is the counter trend signal. So as far as the Raptor programming goes, one of these dips here must have been close enough to count as a pullback, because that is one of the components of a number two signal. And here come the buyers yet again. Wow. Wow. Okay, so this actually was a number three signal. It did not print as a number three because the clouds were out of sync, but visually in the hard edge, it's still a number three signal. Remember, you hit that hard edge, we're going to look for some sort of reaction, and the volatility a lot higher here this morning, certainly higher than what it has been. This is going to print now as a number one signal because the clouds are in sync again. There we go. There's the number one signal. Oop. So you could just look to short that. At least that one's with trend. Stop losses should go above that swing high. Of course, you do have an opportunity for a second push entry here as well. Overall, though, the market really skimpy on the follow through so far. You know, we get a signal, and sure, there's some follow through, but very little. Then we see a big pullback. I suppose, no, even this one didn't have much of a follow through. All of the signals, they're getting to their targets, but sometimes you got to take a lot of heat. Like this number one signal here took a lot of pullback before the market started actually heading in the right direction again. So I guess a broad stop is in order. feel a little better about this one because, of course, we are with trend. I'll get the trade to break even now. Go with the 3-period ATR to start. That seems to be holding the market trend pretty well. Oh, we got to ride out this swing. I don't think we're going to do it. No, didn't give it to us. So the choppiness continues. Well, got a little bit back anyways. Okay, so not quite a hard edge bounce. This would qualify as one of our discretionary signals. If you were looking to take it, just because it's with trend, we have a market that does seem to be trending, even though it is very choppy. Normally, when the markets are trending like this, we get a little bit more follow through, a little less chop. Oh, look at that. Again, right on the support line. That's what happened to me earlier. The market just breached the support line and all the buyers showed up. Where's the next support zone? Whoa, look at that. That would require a monster move down here to 70.65. I don't think the market's been there for a very long time. And I guess if we're going to give this a chance, we may as well give this a chance. Come on. Here we go. We'll bring the break even up a little bit. So the next attempt lower. Some days, my goodness, some days the market just not cooperating. And this looks to be one of those days. You know, those days that the market isn't following through or behaving as it should, you have to recognize that not every day is equal. There are some days it's just going to be very confusing to trade. I heard someone say once the sole purpose of the stock market is to confuse traders, to catch as many traders on the wrong side as possible. There's some truth to that, of course. But when you find yourself in one of those days, my point is just recognize that, okay, this may not be your day. So have a loss limit. You know, certainly try, do your best. But if the market is making wild swings against you, hitting your stops, and you can't afford wider stops, then just resign yourself that, okay, this isn't a good trading day. I'll come back tomorrow. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Trading is as much about self-preservation as it is profit. All right, well, at least down to break even now. And we need to overcome this last hurdle. Got to see the market tick below, what is it, 88, 70, 88? 70, 87, 3/4. So we need to see the market close below 70, 88, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen. No. All right, so just more of the same. Just this back and forth. We are trending, but it is a very, very difficult trend to trade. And here they come again. Look at that. So we had a first micro macro cross here on the Hawk, a trend change signal on the Falcon. Just your basic trend line touch signal here on the Eagle, and then of course the Raptor as well now with the number 3 signal. Here again, one of those discretionary signals. If you just wanted to say, okay, the market's in a trend, I'm going to try to take it with trend. There's the signal, and you just hop in with a trade. And what you're trying to do is you're just trying to take advantage of the overall trend. You know, if the market has an established trend, you can try to get on board, but it is difficult on days like today because you just need such large stops to make it happen. is just too crazy. All these crazy swings. Here we come with yet another number 3 signal. Elmer is asking, Elmer says, Eric, my charts are somehow corrupted since there seems not to be any data between last night 1 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. today. I reloaded data in NinjaScript but cannot get rid of it. Any idea what to do? Okay, I'm assuming, and I'm just going to show this on a different chart, but I'm assuming your data series is set at something like default 24/5. So that's the first thing to check. Make sure that your data series hasn't changed for whatever reason. And then let me go back here. Now, there is a pre-market gap here. Remember, when the market trades or finishes trading Friday, if you're on default 24/5, there's a few hours of electronic trading Sunday morning, which will not show up here. So sometimes you'll get a little bit of a gap there. And that is normal. But regarding, that doesn't seem to fall within the same time frame as what you're talking about, Elmer. So I would just wait until tomorrow. These things, sometimes it could be in your data provider. If it doesn't correct itself by tomorrow, then you may want to talk to your data provider. But usually it's not a really big deal if your data is slightly different. Unless, of course, it's an ongoing problem. No, we're just not seeing any follow through here today. Now we're going to get a bullish push. Ah, yes, James with a good suggestion here. I forgot all about that. Here's another solution, Elmer. If you go to your control center and you want to click on your tools, and go down now to your options. That's going to bring you to your data. Where is it now? Right there, the data tab. And you can repair your database. You don't usually want to reset it, but you can repair it. You can also reset your instruments. I haven't tried that one, James says, but you can reset your instruments. And then restart your NinjaTrader, and that will solve a lot of the problems. Yeah, so thanks for that tip there, James. I forgot all about that one. Well, not having a good day here today. The market swings just a little bit too wild. Yeah, it's just one of those days. What can I tell you? We're getting some really crazy swings. Yeah, I think you could be right, James. James says bouncing around the 70.91 resistance, and it could continue higher from here, and I think that's entirely possible. We'll get another bearish pushback. It's probably not going to be enough. We've been an hour into the session. Most of that session has been moving lower, and so if the market seems to have something resembling a trend, it will usually try to reverse on itself after about an hour in. Now we're actually going to be working a number one signal to the buy side. Okay, so here now the pushback, which is to be expected because of the downtrend, right? We can't expect the sellers just to roll over and play dead because the buyers push the market up a little bit. But stop management this morning has been very, very difficult. Yeah, and the back and forth continues. All right, well, this was an opportunity here to bring my stops in a little bit. You can peel a couple dollars back. I do need another swing here if I'm going to try to bring my stops in tighter still. Oh man. Oh, this back and forth. I just can't help but laugh. It's just crazy. We're stuck in a bit of a sideways trading range here at the moment. And it is actually a bracketable range. If you're not already suffering through this period of congestion, this is a range that you could do an OCO order on. You could look to buy a breakout higher. You could look to sell a breakout lower, and I'd probably short through here. And just look for some sort of continuation here from the breakout. All right, so here we go now. A breakout higher. Yeah, thanks, Dan. Dan says you don't have a stop. I am watching it. Uh, I'll throw my stop in there, which would be the opposite side of my OCO. And just again, not a lot of follow through at the moment. Yeah, you see, this is what I meant when I said there are those days where the market just isn't cooperating. If it wasn't for the sake of the trading room, I'd be going to do something else right now. Yeah, look at this. Well, we'll let this trade play out. It's going to stop me out here as well because we're just thrashing about a little bit. Then I think we're going to call it a day. I can't see much more coming of today. The overall trend is down, so I suspect we're going to see another move lower here, but it's just so frustrating right now because every attempt, the market brings you in, unless you're just scalping, unless you're just going to scalp for a tick or two. All right, well, after a significant pullback lower, now we're getting another push higher. Of course, we need to take out these highs in order to continue higher. Yeah, Phil here with a little quote from the end of Trading Places. Yeah, sell, 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 Mortimer. This is one of these days where trading is going to be a whole lot easier in hindsight. Doing it real time on a day like today where the market is just thrashing about so much, as you can see, is really going to be kind of difficult. Okay, let's see if they make a run at it this time. No, just can't break that hurdle. A little bit of a push. Let's go. So this still just the breakout of the trading range that we identified, and now a second breakout attempt. This is a decent retest. They did get almost halfway, or about halfway within the trading range, which is not as desirable, but at least they didn't get way down below as they did here. There's a lot of different ways of looking at this. I'm not saying that my way is the right way. This, by the way, now is going to be a trend change signal on the on the Falcon. We're probably going to get a number 1 signal. Oh no, we're already getting a number 3 signal here on the Raptor. Okay, so after all that, we're getting a little bit more follow through. I'll take the trade to break even now. I guess I can do that manually. And where's my next resistance line? So 71.24 half. After that, 71.48. That would be a rather substantial move. If I had a couple of contracts going, I would consider the second target. But if I make it to the first target before they, if they don't stop me out of break even again. And come on, we're working a late filter entry signal. This is promising if they don't stop me out first. No, the trend line now spoiled. Well, that's it. I think I'm going to book a tea time and go do something more productive today. So we'll go with the ATR stop now. And we'll see. Obviously, we need to breach this and hopefully see a little bit more follow through from there. There's the break. Oops. I didn't realize my OCO was still on. So I'll reset my profit target. Well, it was an unfortunate day today. I'm sorry, couldn't have shown you something a little bit better, but again, maybe the lesson to take away from today is there are days like today. There are days where the market is just going to do what the market's going to do, and you need to recognize that maybe it's not the best day to trade. All right, gang, we'll give it another go tomorrow. I will see you then. Bye for now.